We have all had those pre-game lobbies filled with people screaming at each other. But what's the cause for all this toxicity amongst gamers? It's just a game. Why can't we all just get along? That's a question that we look to answer tonight on the Always Gametime Podcast. Hey everybody, my name is Ben and welcome back to the show. Joining us as always is everyone's favorite co-host, Ryan.
Oh, hey. I'm a bit nervous, but I think we're ready. I'm just going to get this hot tub going. Let me get my shirt off. Hold on.
Whoa. Before you, I thought we were going to save that for the Patreon content.
But that's what this is, right?
No, this is the podcast. Yeah, no, that's tomorrow.
Now my water's going to be all cold. Now don't forget, you can buy this water afterwards.
Yes, on special pricing.
No, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out to the Always Gametime Podcast. We got a great show for you today. I'm excited. Ben, you excited? You ready to go?
Absolutely excited. Let's do it.
All right, we got Epic, who's losing $300 million right now. They're paying for exclusives throughout their Epic store, right? They're trying to compete with Steam, and they've already raised another $1 billion, which includes $200 million from Sony. So it's just amazing how much money they're sinking into this, and they're all about it. They think they're going to turn a profit. And let me know, someone let me know if you use the Epic Store for anything other than free games, right?
Nope.
Free games, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous.
In other headline news for gaming companies and stores, rumor has it that Xbox and Nintendo are in cahoots with one another, and this is exciting news. Yeah. So let me fill you guys in on the backstory. Phil Spencer, who is like the head at Xbox, was doing a Microsoft stream about 2 months ago and had a Nintendo Switch on their shelf. Now, before you go off and think that this is just some conspiracy theory that fans are formulating, Phil Spencer is notorious for teasing future announcements in these backgrounds of his on stream. And so someone else in the community that's a very well-known and trusted leaker of information basically came out and said, yeah, cat's out of the bag. Nintendo and Xbox, you guys are going to hear more in the fall. And that's crazy. I mean, we've always had the trifecta, Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, and obviously this could just be a simple collaboration like Master Chief and Smash, or doing something smaller on that scale. But I'm kind of curious to see what we might get from this.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're blowing things out. Like, I know I saw a few rumors about Xbox exclusive, like Halo, being playable on the Nintendo. I'm more with you that it's going to be like Master Chief in Smash, something fairly small. But what's your wildest and craziest guess, Ben?
I've seen people speculating that Game Pass could be coming to the Switch, and I don't know how that would work, but
that would be great. I mean, Xbox is making moves. Props to them.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. So now we have a quick update on Outriders, right? They've been having issues. They had a pretty up and down release, player base wise. It was great. But now they have an error that's when there is an error in their trash collecting, it's causing up to 23 gigs being stored on a player's computer. And obviously this is causing a lot of issues. They're hoping to fix the problem fairly quickly. This is on top of inventory being lost or just erased within the game. I mean, I don't know about you, but those are two pretty big deals that almost make me stop playing a game. Ben, have you picked up Outriders since you tried out the demo?
No, I unfortunately only tried that first look at the beta, but I think this game has enough legs to it that if they can resolve some of this stuff quickly, or at least, make it known to the public like they're doing, I think they'll be all right on this one.
Yeah, it is overcomable. Both issues are, other games have made it through them pretty quickly and easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. And we've talked a lot about Twitch in the last couple weeks, and one other thing has just recently been brought to our attention that I thought was crazy enough to bring up on the show, and that is a new personal conduct policy that Twitch is going to implement where some of the things you do off stream could potentially be bannable. This is obviously going to first roll out for Twitch's partners, but think of this like in the NFL or the NBA. It's probably going to be ruled a little bit randomly and without consistency, especially towards the beginning. But upon further inspection, we found a list on the community guidelines of what this is exactly aiming at preventing and what some of these bannable offenses are. And they seem like more serious things. For example, being involved with a terrorist group or a known hate group.
Well,
child grooming, sexual assault, like all these awful things. So they're pretty major offenses, and it's not like anything shocking, but it does make me start to wonder, now you can get banned for something off stream, let alone on stream that happens. How many people are we going to see in the future start falling to Twitch's ban hammer? I don't know.
It wouldn't be as big of a deal if Twitch had any kind of a good reputation for being consistent and communicating well, but they're the worst in terms of social media. They're one of the worst at communicating to the people they ban for why they're banned and things like that. So that's why I thought this was very concerning. I'm not a fan of this, but it is what it is. They're going to treat their gig workers however they want to treat them. Yep. So now in a little bit more exciting news, right? The Switch Lite was shown today or yesterday, whatever, earlier. And I was not a fan of the color. It is literally the same. Yeah, there it is. It is same color as the GameCube. I mean, wasn't that the worst console ever?
No.
Didn't it have the worst color? Don't at me, chat, including, well, I guess.
Shots
okay, Ben,
fired,
let me
GameCube.
know. But still, let's just stick to the color. Why this color?
I don't know. It just made it very... I don't know. It's kind of soothing when I look at it, but I'm curious to find out more details. I mean, there's so many different versions of the Switch now. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we got the Lite. We're going to have the Pro. And
there's two in between. Only. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty interesting.
Very interesting. And something that I wanted to mention along those lines before we get into another console update was, for those of you out there that like the Age of Empires franchise, Age of Empires 4 has officially released a gameplay trailer, and it is scheduled to release of fall of this year. I personally have always admired these games from afar because I know that I will sink hours after hours into a game like this, and this one looks really good. No exceptions here, so...
Oh man, the graphics of it just astonished me, blew me away. I mean, what, this game's been in development for pushing 10 years, like on and off development, right? But I don't know, it's been in a long cycle and it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably be getting this fairly quickly when it's released.
Yeah, exciting.
Yep, good PC game. And for our older listeners, I'm sure they remember sinking countless hours into the original Age of Empires way back when. So in other news, the PS5 had a major update. Now they're allowing PS5 games to be stored on the external hard drive. There's just a little bit of stuff that we were really asking for a long time. Users are allowed to now opt into preload updates, which is kind of what we had before, but now you're able to do it a little bit easier and more reliable, and you can pick which games are on and off with it instead of allowing the PlayStation to decide that for you. There's a new trophy screen, new customizable library. Probably the best part of it is the PlayStation app got a big update, and you can join and leave parties, start up a game, and make sure everything's up to date as well on your system via your phone. So that's kind of cool. They also have 120 hertz HDR support now as well with this update. Yeah. What else do we have? Is this one me? The Nintendo Switch did their Indie World Case as well, right? And that looks pretty decent. I watched all of it. All I could think of is when I watched the Sony one, right? And we talked about that and how disappointed I was. This was actually great. I mean, they had people talking about it. They had a decent, I mean, they even had me interested in a game where you literally have to put in 400 days within the game. Like, that's it. You have to wait for 400 days and see what happens.
It's
I
crazy.
think the game was called Longing or something.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called There Is No Game. I mean, they took mediocre ideas to me and they really sold them on me, which was a good change of pace compared to the Sony one.
Yeah, for sure. And there's lots of other games actually that I wanted to bring up on the show this week that either have just released or are about to release. One of those is Super Meat Boy Forever, which I don't know if you've ever played Super Meat Boy, but talk about like
No.
platformer of all platformer games and difficult as well. If there was like a Dark Souls platformer, it would be Super Meat Boy. And that is going to be releasing on right now, the day that we're recording this, on Friday the 16th. Yep. And a couple other games on my list was What the Dub, which released just a week ago on April 8th. And this is a very similar to Jackbox party game style game, which looked really fun, really cool. I know that a lot of people like to stream these games with their community. So if you haven't heard of it, check out What the Dub. And then we have Ashwalkers, which released yesterday, which looked pretty cool. I don't know for certain if this is like something that got ported to new generation or was an existing game, but it looks like dark and mysterious. So those of you that are fans of that genre, check it out. And then just as a bonus, I wanted to mention that MLB The Show 21, which is a game we've had a lot of coverage on in the past on our podcast, is releasing April 20th. So check that out.
Yep, early release was late last night around 11 o'clock Central, and I got a couple hours in now. It's pretty good. Don't forget, if you're on the Xbox or have the Xbox Pass, you get it for free on the 20th.
Wow, super cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. One other random notes I threw in late was Twitch removed millions of bots, view bots, follow bots, all those across the site. So if you notice anyone that has lower follower numbers or whatever, don't be concerned. That's perfectly normal. And also another news with the PS5, it's the fastest selling console of all time.
Wow.
It's a little tidbit there that I read before getting on.
Fastest selling console that's been sold out since launch. That's pretty...
Exactly. That's amazing. So if you don't have one, get one.
Yeah.
As Woody would say.
It is really good. I will confirm.
Yeah. Confirmed.
Cool. Well, let us know in the comments what you guys thought about our quick hits this week. Super cool stuff. I'm actually very excited about a lot of these updates, and even more excited to transition now and talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart. You guys may have guessed it from the title, but this week we're going to take a look at negativity in gaming, or as some of you would hear me call it, toxicity in gaming. So this is a super widespread, like always on the rise, at least in my opinion. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to say is coming from my perspective. And, before we get anywhere else in this conversation, definitely want to stress that this is all from my perspective. I think there's a lot of reasons why I feel the way that I do. But again, it's important to me, and I think it's worth noting. And so when we talk about toxicity in gaming, like, what does that mean? Maybe you're not someone who plays games all the time. Maybe you have children that just play games and you're not aware of this issue that has been, like I have said, I think getting worse. And when we talk about that, what we're really talking about, we're not talking about competitive nature. We're not talking about arguments. We're talking about like things as bad as death threats and racial slurs and all sorts of things that people will, because of a couple different reasons, which we'll look at later, just attack each other with over video games. And when you think about gaming, like, think, oh, fun and like community and multiplayer and all these other cool terms. And it's just something that I think really ruins a lot of people's experience. And so to give some backstory to why this matters to me, obviously being a content creator and formulating my entire brand around this, community is so important. One of the reasons I fell in love with streaming was that I could meet new people from all around the world who all shared a common interest, and we'd have this safe space to just be who we are, and express ourselves and enjoy awesome gaming moments. And when that gets paired up with toxicity or trolling or any terms that you want to label it as, it just creates a real problem. And so what exactly is the issue? Well, I think the largest thing for many of us, gaming is our outlet and our means of unwinding after a long day. Toxicity not only disrupts our ability to enjoy games for what they are, but it hurts our in-game ability for, competitive games and overall community feel. Now, I will say, if you're someone who has a close-knit friend group, this problem might not be as prevalent to you because you might only be playing games with your friends and you might be entering in with an attitude of like, oh, it doesn't really matter, like we're just goofing around or whatever. But if you're someone like me who, again, one of the main reasons I started streaming didn't necessarily have that dedicated friend group to play all these games with, it's just really, really bad. And I think the problem in and of itself is pretty simple and obvious. But one thing I wanted to mention is like, where does this problem mostly exist? So if you're someone playing offline Skyrim on an Xbox 360, you're probably not as exposed to this as someone who's playing competitive multiplayer experiences. A few that I'd like to point out just because of how bad they are. Rocket League, Valorant, Warzone, I mean, Halo, like pretty much any competitive multiplayer game has this issue. Ryan, I don't know if you wanted to comment there on that.
No. I mean, you nailed them all, right? I feel like my entrance into this was Call of Duty, right? I mean, it just that. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when you could talk to the opposing team, or like at the end of a game, you could talk to the opposing team at the end of a Call of Duty match, or when you kill someone, you could hear what they said, right? Yep. They don't do that very much in games anymore because they understand the toxicity going back and forth, right? There's almost a limit to having adversaries talk at all in games, which is kind of sad. I mean, it was a great content creation moment, but then again, toxicity was part of that content that some people like to see, and some people promote it even, right? So that was kind of where I was going to go, but I don't want to derail you here. I know you have a few more points to go.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So you're exactly right though. I mean, those type of games, it's just one in like hand in hand. You have toxicity in those environments. And we want to look at the root cause in this conversation. And in my opinion, this all comes back to hurting people hurt people and internet culture. I want to make it very clear, we're obviously not attacking the developers in any way. There are some instances where some companies have failed to address the issue or implement features to help players detach themselves from toxic environments. But for the most part, this is a people issue. This is a culture issue. And that's very hard to address because a couple of reasons. My leading theory and kind of my call to action with this, if we were to try to find any semblance of a solution or start moving towards progress, is I believe that content creators have a huge role to play in perpetuating this, what I like to call the hate loop. And I don't want to mention like specific streamers, like it is what it is. I understand that if you look at some big streamers that play like Warzone, for example, huge moments for them blowing up on stream, cussing out 12-year-olds that are stream sniping them. Like I understand like all of this is good content and it helps boost their numbers, grow their channel, make them money. And I don't really want to bash that more than necessary, other than to address the fact that a lot of these streamers seem to value that over the influence that they have on younger generations, specifically younger generations, but also just gaming culture in general. I mean, how many times do we see a huge streamer start saying a catchphrase or doing something in a game, and then before you know it, everyone in that game's community is doing it? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. I mean, all I can think about, all I hear, and I might insert it into the audio podcast, is ninjas. What do you think about that, you little beat? Right? That's all. That's just going in my head. But yeah, no. I guess I wanted to kind of bring it back just a little bit. Do you think content creation has helped, or do you think it still perpetuates what I think you refer to as like this hate loop? Do you think there's enough good? Because I know there's plenty. I mean, there's a whole channel based. It's called Say No to Rage, right? There's a whole channel based on trying to create good habits within competitive gaming and not push out that hate, right? So are you on the good or bad side of this?
I mean, classic Star Wars nerd here. I think it's two sides of the same coin. I think we have people pushing for the toxic side of content creation. We have people pushing for the positivity. And it's just really hard to see which side is like winning in this case. They're very even at times, but more often than not, you look at what people are drawn to, and it's the controversy and the drama, and it's not the positivity. And so, as much as I'd like to think that there are a lot of people in the positive corner who are trying to promote that content, and I would love to network with them and get to meet them. And please, if you guys hear this or see this, leave a comment. Like, let's link up, because the more of us that band together, the more that we can help try to make some change here. But I just think that, just like the internet, it's just the nature of what it is. You know, we talked a little bit about internet anonymity. That's a hard word to say, but basically people can get on the internet and say or do whatever they want because they don't think it's traceable back to them. And so, you know, it kind of, not accountable for their actions. And they feel like this freedom to just kind of, I think that it really amplifies a lot of the things that people suppress in their day-to-day interactions. And so, you know, that feeds into it. But then, especially when we get to this part where we see, you know, the big streamers using the language and calling people trash at games and rage quitting and kind of almost encouraging these behaviors, it's almost kind of affirming those people who might be maybe on the edge of being toxic to like, okay, this is funny, like this is a fun game. And it's just not for everyone. You never know what the person on the other end of that is going through. You never know how awful their week's been, how negatively you're impacting their life. And so it's just something to really consider. I mean, and trust me, I get it. Like, I don't really rage quit at games. The closest I've probably come to is dying to bosses in Dark Souls. But like,
wait. You're forgetting a game.
Okay, which game?
Escape from Tarkov.
Okay, that listen.
I had to mention.
But that's less about the players and more about the game. So to be fair. But I played Valorant for Pete's sake, and that is just like frustration. I mean, it's most of the time frustration is with myself for how I perform, but you get these lobbies where people's skill rating is all over the place, and like you sometimes you lose horribly, sometimes you win, and it's this emotional roller coaster. But a lot of this, I wonder, it's just people not being able to regulate their emotions and just running wild in these games with open mics. And I just,
this is as old as time. I'm sure everyone here remembers the GIF of like, it's two guys, black and white GIF. They're playing Pong, and this one guy just literally drops the controller, shakes his head, and walks off, right? Toxicity in gaming is probably what is old as games themselves, right? I remember sitting down playing GoldenEye or Perfect Dark on one computer or one TV with 4 of my friends and cussing right at them, and they're sitting right there. They could reach over and smack me right in the head. I mean, this problem is as old as the games are themselves. And in terms of fixing, I don't think that's a real thing, but you're 100% right that we need to be more aware of who we're sending this negative energy out to. Right. And what kind of problems that's causing, right? The negative energy, you're not even getting rid of it from yourself. You're just really creating more and putting it out there in the world. And that's not going to do any good, because sooner or later you're going to have a bad game and be carried in Valorant, and someone's going to bring that right back onto you. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry to use you as an example.
No, that's totally fine. That's all right. Well, I think it's important to draw the line too. Like, obviously, Ryan and I both love competitive games. The games we're addicted to right now are very competitive, and it's different. Like, trash talk has always been something that can make a gaming experience fun. But again, it's just considering who you're doing this with, who you're doing it to. I mean, if I'm in a group of friends and we like trash talk each other for a bad play, that's completely separate and different from telling someone to like kill themselves because they're bad. Like, why try to make the problem so much worse? It almost never ends in a positive way. Either someone's gonna just shut up for the rest of the match, or like, you know, it's never a good situation in my opinion. And again, you know, just to kind of tie it back in here, we'll talk maybe a little bit about what we can possibly start to do here for a solution. But when we talk about just the internet in general, I see so many. I've worked with kids previously in my life. I see so much absorption going on with kids seeing stuff happening on the internet and then just reflecting it because they think it's cool or they thought it was funny. And that's why this gets worse over time, is because that younger generation brings it with them into their streams when they get older, and then the new young generation watches. And again, I don't know everything, guys, and I'm only 25, but from what I have seen, this problem is not getting better, and it's negatively impacting gamers everywhere. Nobody's enjoying it, so why aren't we doing anything about it is kind of my main point. So
Yeah, 100%. In terms of a solution, we're more talking like, let's challenge each other to be like, let's defend those people, right? Let's not be one to pile on, right? When someone's bashing someone else, let's tell people to cool it. Let's try to enjoy more of the games. And at your worst, remember, 3 deep breaths does wonders, right? I mean,
yep.
I have 2 little kids now. One of them is 7 and getting into gaming now. I hold all that back because I was as guilty as anyone. Man, if there's anyone in the chat or in my chat or anywhere that's listening to this, feel free to send me a message because you have heard me play Call of Duty and yell to the top of my lungs and heard me all over the dorm, the house, whatever. Feel free to throw that in my face right now. I deserve it. But yes, I have brought all that back now. And I think if I can do it, all you guys can too.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, people are going to be people, right? You can't, it's not something that we can necessarily fix, but there's 2 major things I think that we can start to do. Whether you're a content creator or not, someone that just plays multiplayer games and has this influence and this possibility to make change, hold yourself accountable, right? And realize in those moments, like, it's just a game. That doesn't mean you have to be okay with losing. That doesn't mean that you have to lose your competitive spirit. It just means watch what you're saying, because it holds a lot more power than I think people give credit to, because it's the internet. We can say whatever we want. But try to think about this like, these are other people. They're obviously playing for some reason. And when you are met with toxicity, don't be toxic back. Like, it's just not, it's not going to change that person at all. And you know what would really rile someone up if they're like, you're trash, uninstall, like all these horrible things or whatever. If you're just like, hey man, it's not very nice, like, we're just playing a game. Like, people hate that, and I do it all the time because it just stops them in their tracks. They're like, what? What is this? And I swear, like, those people a lot of times are the people who have been conditioned this way by their own gaming experiences to think that, like, oh well, if I'm not toxic, like, what if they yell at me? Like, you know, it's just, it's anyways. But another thing that I think that we can do to start to fix this, other than just keeping ourselves accountable, is to just really dwell on like why these kinds of games can lead to like your own self being upset. And like, if you're not this is just my personal thing, so Ryan, feel free to call me out on this, but like, if you're not enjoying a game and you're grinding it and you're trying to get better and do whatever, but like, why are you playing it? Most likely you're not a pro, you're not making money off of this. If you're playing with friends, you shouldn't be dealing with this problem as much. Just don't play the game. Like, I have tons of people that I've talked to that don't like the games that we play together, and they still just play them and they get super toxic, and I just don't understand it. The logic behind playing something, if you know it makes you angry, step away from the game for a while, reevaluate, think about why it makes you mad, and then go back in, you know, take a breather.
As someone that's 10 years in your future, right? I'm just you 10 years from now. I used to be just like every one of you in chat. We all used to be the greatest at game X or game Y or both, right? And then as time kind of slips away and ability kind of slips away and focus kind of changes, we are no longer that good anymore. That was kind of my tipping point as well, where I had to learn that, hey, I am not as good at this game, and that brought rage out in me. So I had to change the type of games I played. I don't play Madden at all anymore, right? That used to be a game where I never lost at, and then I start to lose, and it's like, wait, this isn't fun anymore, right? So, I mean, hopefully you don't have to be like me and all out quit a game because you're not the best at it, but remember that's always an option, right? And that's what you're saying. If that game is not bringing you joy, then don't do it. I mean, it's already one of our topics in the future is going to be gaming addiction. It's already an addiction. So if you're not happy while doing it, then definitely get out while you can.
Yeah. And I want to leave off on this topic with just some questions in general for the community, because I don't think that there are easy answers, but we'd certainly welcome you guys to join us alongside our movement for positivity in gaming. But, you know, despite competitive environments in games and the power behind internet anonymity, How, as a collective group, do you guys think that we can move ahead and kind of disrupt this cycle? And I'm genuinely curious to see how you guys have experienced this in your own personal games. If it has impacted you, like, please feel free to share those stories with us, because I know for like a lot of us, it's a bigger impact than what some people would probably think it is, and a bigger issue as well. So,
2 comments I got to read. The only toxic I want is by Britney Spears, and the other is hack their computers and delete their games.
true.
I mean, yes, amen. Nailed it.
Great suggestions. Thank you for that.
Yes, but I want to go out there and challenge the community. Definitely, if you hear any of that toxicity, push back a little bit, like Ben does very often. You hear him do it on stream all the time, and try to do something positive within that environment. So that is all I have on it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening too. I know
Yeah.
sometimes I can get a little bit carried away, but it's just something that I'm so over and just motivated by. So cool. Well,
Yeah, yep.
to make things a little bit lighter, why don't you lead us into our next thing?
Oh yeah. But yeah, let's also I'm gonna shout out your Twitch, right? You stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday for all those great positive moments. And I'm sure a lot of you that are watching it live know that already, but those that are listening, come stop by. It's always a good time.
Thank you.
So now I am gonna put Ben through the ringer. I have created the greatest gaming quiz all by myself, and he has 30 seconds to get as many right as he can. Let me get my sound effects up here. All right, you got a positive sound and a negative sound when you get them right. All right, these are going to start really easy, and then they're slowly going to get a little bit tougher.
Alrighty, let's do it.
All right, are you ready?
I have the countdown timer.
I like I mean, it kind of looks like the stream's going to explode at the end of this timer, but that's okay.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe it will.
If you get enough right. Yeah, if you get enough right, maybe it'll turn off. All right. Tell their mummies. I like that one too. All right, here we go. Ready? Start it. A pickaxe is commonly used in what game?
Minecraft.
What is Mario and Luigi's occupation?
Plumber?
What is the name of the main character in the Metal Gear Solid series?
Oh, Solid Snake?
Yes. What are the color of Spyro's wings?
Orange.
What is the name of the world in World of Warcraft?
Agartha.
Okay. The game Grand Theft Auto Vice City is based on a TV show or movie. Which one? Name one of them.
I have no idea.
What is the name of the alien alliance that you're playing against in the Halo games?
Covenant, but we're out of time.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it goes by
fast.
really quick. Well, I only did 30 seconds. I guess we had talked about doing more. We could do a round 2, I guess.
I have enough for round 2. But yes, Bellum, Miami Vice. The other answer would have been Scarface.
Oh, I never would have known that.
What is the name of the world in World of Warcraft? Azeroth.
Oh, I knew it was an A, but I just...
Yeah,
I couldn't get to it.
All right, we got to do round 2.
All right, let's do round 2. Another 30 seconds. We got... Yeah, you spent so much time with these questions. Yeah, we got to get through more.
All right, we ready? All right, start it up.
Yep.
What is the name of the planet that is the home planet in Gears of War?
Oh, I don't remember. Skip.
What is the game that has the highest budget ever to make?
Oh, goodness. No idea. Skip.
Cyberpunk Grand Theft Auto. Name one of Star Fox's teammates in Star Fox 64.
Other Fox. Okay.
What is the name of Fortnite's first mode before they did Battle Royale?
Save the World?
Yes. What's the original time period that the first Call of Duty was set in?
World War One?
No. When was the first Nintendo released?
Oh God, 1973.
No. What is the disc type implemented in the PlayStation 3?
I can't believe it's in 73. Disc type, CD? A DVD?
No, we're gonna do them all. I know time's up. We're gonna keep going.
That's all right.
What old Nintendo and arcade game is Mario the bad guy?
Oh gosh, is it Luigi's Mansion?
No. What is the name of the highest selling video game console of all time?
Is it something? This is a trick question. Maybe like the. No. Oh, it's not.
No.
Xbox One. It's probably not. Didn't we just talk about
No,
PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could have seen that.
How do you make obsidian in Minecraft?
If you're gonna make it, pour water on lava. Source block.
Yeah, that one should have been higher up. What's the most popular character in Mario Kart? There was a study done on this.
Peach.
Yes, Peach and Mario were tied, actually.
Really?
What is the primary who do you primarily play as in Nintendo's Zelda series?
Link.
Yeah.
I
Easy ones. I moved to the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was really fun, actually.
There's an age gap again.
Yeah, what was the? Tell me the when I said 1973 on. That has to be so. What was the release of the Nintendo?
September 1986, like literally the month before I was born.
That was the month before. No, that wasn't. Never mind. Okay. Cool. Well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I did pretty well. Those were...
I think so too. I didn't get to keep track. I had a hard enough time with the buttons. I couldn't even get the sounds right.
The second round was a little rough, I'll admit, stream. I hope no one's making fun of me in the chat. Let me take a quick peek here. Okay, they're cheering me on.
Yeah, no, they're good. The highest budget game was Grand Theft Auto at $256 million.
Oof.
Otherwise, they think that Cyberpunk might have broke it with $300 million.
Yeah.
Name one of Star Fox's teammates in Star Fox 64. Flacco Lombardi. Slippy Toad, one of the worst. And Peppy Hair. I think Peppy Hair was the annoying one. Peppy Hair was like just the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to save the world right. World War II, not World War I for the Call of Duty setting. Blu-ray disc for what disc was implemented within the PlayStation 3. What was the arcade game that Mario was the bad guy?
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
He's the arcade. Yeah, okay. Right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Right?
I get.
Yeah,
wait, you play as
the
him,
original, like where you play as Donkey Kong.
Oh, I don't know. We've stumped the questioner.
I took that one. Probably should have looked it up again. But yeah, you got the highest selling console right. And then the last three were pretty easy. I thought Yoshi would have been in one of the most popular.
No way, dude. I knew in my heart that it had to be Peach.
Why? What's the logic for Peach?
Honestly, and this is going to sound bad, but almost every woman that I have seen play Mario Kart picks Peach. And I don't use Peach, but a lot of people in my family use Peach. So I was just like, hey, I see a lot of Peach players.
Options are limited for the women, right?
I always use in the newer ones, I'd always use the dry bones. That's my favorite. So just a little
dry bones.
Yeah. All right, well, I have a question for you to kind of get some payback, hopefully.
All right.
The problem with this one is they're not really wrong answers, all right? So, like, I think you got off a little easy this week. Yeah, exactly. So I'm only going to give you 30 seconds. This one is more name as many as you can style. And what I want you to do, 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm referencing a long list here, so we'll talk about it at the end, is I want you just in 30 seconds to list as many video game genres as you can. 3, 2, 1, go.
First-person shooter, RTS, third-person shooter, strategy, turn-based, sports, or you could do individuals. Shoot, now I want to open my list of games. There's basically like an RPG. There's an MMO RPG. So that's two different things. You have like open world. You have survival. You have
Time's up.
All right. I feel I was coming to an end there.
You got some on the list that I'm happy that you did get. For example, MMO being on there and RPG, I was like, if he doesn't mention those, like I get it. Maybe everyone's had a rough day, whatever. But
fighting is the one that
fighting was a big one. I was surprised by platform games. I was kind of surprised. Oh geez,
101, yeah.
Yep. Some of these other ones are a little bit niche, but I want to hear what you have to think about them. So we have beat 'em up games.
Yep, the fighting.
Okay.
That's what I was kind of
similar.
That'd be like Mortal Kombat, right?
Kind of, yeah. I'd consider that more like a fighting game. Probably more like just like a typical button mashing fighting
Oh,
game.
like the Ninja Turtles game that we were talking about.
Yep.
Kind of something. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Then we obviously have battle royale games, which I was like, how did
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But some of these are really fun too.
Whoops.
We have Rhythm, we have text adventure, we have roguelikes, simulation games. I was surprised with that one.
Sorry, Ryan out there.
Tower defense games. Did you say strategy? You might have said strategy. That kind of covers,
I said strategy, but I was like, man, I wanted to dive into the
and
strategy.
this one, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say horror games like at
No.
all? Oh man, but you did good. You only had 30 seconds, and you did knock out some of the classics that were there. So
yeah. That was a good one. I like that. I like that list.
Yeah, I like those as many as you can style. It's a lot of frantic.
It puts you on the spot, and
it really does.
A little nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. Well, you did good. Congratulations. Your prize is you did better than me. There you go.
I think you did pretty good, man.
Thanks. Yeah, and Twitch chat, I don't want to hear it. I don't think any of you guys got any right. So. Oh man.
All right. That was great. I think we need to do this all the time.
Yeah, I like the games.
You let us know. Someone, please, for the love of God, leave me a comment today. Don't text my phone. I get lots of texts about the show. I just want one on something, please.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm begging now, and it's pathetic, but just
understandable. Yeah. We would love to just hear more from you guys in general, especially since I don't know if we've talked about this on an actual podcast, but as of right now, we believe the format is going to be 2 more episodes for our first season. And then we are going to be taking a break as I'm going to be moving in real life with my wife, and that'll be kind of its own big adventure. And then we're going to take that time to read all of your guys' feedback and figure out how we can revamp the show and create more exciting bits for you guys in season 2. So. Very excited.
Yeah, yep. I'm excited. Yep. And like Ben mentioned a little, I think that was in the pre-show, right? We want to do an interactive show. So if you're able to make it next week, please do, right?
Yeah. Next week's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be quite a bit different if Ben has told me right. He's going to be leading the show quite a bit, but yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yep. Well, as always, guys, if you have any comments or just want to connect with us, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, on YouTube, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those usual things. You can find the links for that in the description. We really appreciate having those of you here with us in the live show as well. We hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. And if there's anything else, Ryan, now's the time.
Nope, that's all I got, right? I appreciate each and every one of you for listening, hanging out here. Spread that peace and love, and I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ben, and we'll see you guys next week on the Always Gametime Podcast.